start out, I would love if you guys could kind of go around and introduce yourself, introduce what you guys are up to, what type of business you guys have, and yeah, start.
Alright, well, I'm selling my wife and I, she's online with us, but we own businesses, a real estate business. We own about 9 units, spread across 4 buildings. We also we just recently started a handyman service, which has been keeping me extremely busy, and so we've decided that,
What type of business was that? Sorry.
handyman service.
Handyman service. Okay.
Yeah, it kind of grew out organically from our real estate business.
Yeah.
And that, oftentimes we were doing work and people would we posted our work and they would see it and then they were like, hey, are you guys up for hiring? And so initially we just started with like professionals and colleagues that we knew, but now it's become a lot more upfront and focused.
Gotcha.
And so we're thinking about we need some kind of web presence. Like we've got a logo, we've got a business name, we've got an LLC. We're constantly buying insurance anyways. Time to make this a real social presence and actually put it out there. So
For sure.
that's kind of where we're here today.
Okay. Awesome.
Hi everybody, my name is Kinsai. I recently just graduated college in, I believe, 2020. Or sorry, actually 2018, so that's not too recent.
Okay.
Time flies. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I graduated with a business degree, but all my life I've really just dabbled in business. So during college was kind of when I had more free time living in the dorms, and I took a dive into e-commerce. So e-commerce, kind of like flipping products, kind of like stocks, buy low, sell high.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of my eye-opener for e-commerce. And so out of my dorm room, I was selling TVs, I was selling books, textbooks, because college students always have textbooks. And so that sparked my interest into selling more on eBay, having a platform, going onto Etsy, Amazon, Craigslist, even places where you don't necessarily have to like track your taxes.
Yep.
Recently they just started doing that through PayPal, so if you can do cash transactions, that's kind of the key.
Yep.
But recently, I had a friend, or one of my roommates, they contracted COVID. So during that time, I was also quarantined at home as well. And that time, I watched a lot of videos, and I became very motivated and very impressed by how you can start an online business as well. So aside from doing e-commerce, I created a clothing brand, and I'm here today so I can learn more about social media marketing, social marketing, advertising, all that good stuff, so I can kind of grow my brand as well, and also to connect with individuals.
What's your clothing brand?
Yes, so my clothing brand, I just started, and it's all not cut from the same cloth. It is a Hmong-based clothing brand, Hmong-inspired clothing brand, and it just launched this year. Are you Fa?
What?
Are you Fa?
No.
Okay, sorry, I just thought my name. But yes, so I just started a clothing brand this year, and its goal is to essentially motivate and inspire Hmong individuals to grow and increase, or to grow and chase after their passions and their goals, because I feel like in this day and age, a lot of young professionals that are my age, they don't have role models, or they don't have the tools to kind of push themselves. So through clothing, I believe I can do that to grow.
Love it. That's awesome, man. We'll look out for that for sure.
Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Dave Tao, and I am a real estate agent. And real estate investor. Real estate agent with Partners Realty for about 3 years now. Been in real estate salesman for 5 years. So, not really much else out there, but
Yeah.
if you guys want to talk more about real estate, I can come. Here we go.
Yeah, for sure.
Just,
That's awesome.
connect with me.
Okay. Cool.
Hi everybody, my name is Fantasia. I am 50% interested in contouring. We do non-invasive body contouring. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of that, but it's still pretty new. But we've been in business for almost 2 years, and this is my BFF, and we just was like, let's do this. Let's start a business.
Yeah.
I've never thought I was pretty content working, just 9 to 5. But timing, everything just kind of fell into place, and so here we are.
Awesome.
I'm Jer. I'm the other half of Peaches and Contouring. So, like Fantasia said, we do non-invasive body contouring, and we're just here to kind of learn more about like social media and how to like navigate through that and put ourselves kind of more out there. So we're really excited for it, this course. Yeah.
So I'm just interested in what is like body contouring?
Yeah, so it's the process of melting body fat. We'll be skin tightening as well. So there's a lot. Our page is we're called Peaches and Contouring. So we have a lot of information on there, or we can exchange information. You can reach out to us. Yeah.
That's
it.
no, I would.
No.
It's a
Yeah.
huge umbrella. Body fat.
Without working out, right?
Yeah.
Body contouring is a huge umbrella. So,
I'm Hongma Lee, and Bailey, of course, is my first cousin or distant cousin. I feel like we're first
cousins
cousins.
somewhere.
Yeah. But no, I'm excited to be here. I have probably like 6 businesses under my umbrella. I host an organic farm, so we do like kind of like e-commerce where people come and order and pay with bulk. So we own 20 acres, and we're actually out in Hugo. We just bought land, and I'm super excited about that because we're one of the first certified organic farmers, and just kind of teaching other people. I just influenced my sister and my aunt in North Carolina to get grant money to build these 2 high tunnels. And high tunnels, you can extend your season. So, and then I also just become a brokerage, and so I was really inspired. Both of the major brokerages, long-run brokerages like Partners Realty and Creative Results are my relatives, and I thought, oh, this is really cool if I, if I had to like brand myself. And so I just branded myself. I named it Inspire Access Realty, and I have a little moon on my thing because I inspire people to, I work around the clock for people. So my niche is finding land and teaching people how to build new construction on their land or hobby farms. And then also like a lot of families who are very culturally diverse, they don't know how to find houses like feng shui wise. So like you can't live on a T section or XYZ. So I thought it was really niche-y to like, why don't we build what you want? So I became a small developer. By coincidence, I wrote a grant this year, so now I'm learning how to become a small developer to do affordable housing in the Twin Cities here. So in Bryson, Arlington, I don't know if you guys realize that old police center was owned by one of the owners, and he had approached me. So now we're doing like community activism through creating affordable housing because there's like a huge lack of housing. So that's my 2 businesses, and then my husband's a financial advisor. He runs Premier Financial Services, so we teach people how to like financially. We were like, basically when I was in life, I'm like, nobody taught this in college. Like, this is whack. Like we need to, like, I don't know, I go to work and I had all these 401ks and stuff. So I think finally in my point of life, I realized like, okay, I do all this just by referral. I'm so busy all the time, but I don't have a system in place, or I don't really have social media where like people just know and they just keep referring, and I'm kind of overwhelmed. So I'm trying to seek out people like Christian who would be able to support me. So yeah, so I really have 3-4 umbrellas, and then I also own, I used to be a sushi chef, so we opened up this little side hustle. It's called Rolls to Go. So we rolled like our organic food into sushi for people to eat at Mill City. It was like really popular. It's like a pop-up, and I love that, So yeah, so we own all these businesses, and I'm like really overwhelmed, burned out, and I'm really here to like this year. This last 3 months, I took time back and really reflected, and I'm just recentering myself, getting back into the workout. I also work out, and I realize like a lot of us entrepreneurs end up doing everything, and we don't have time to self-care. So I used to be a fitness instructor, and now I'm going to Pilates, and I was like, you know what, you can do all of this, but if you don't take care of your health, you're like doomed. So yeah, so anyway, so those are all the platforms that I do. I teach and whatever on the side, so.
Cool. Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you guys for coming again. So, trying to understand a little bit more. So, settings for the video?
For like the ads and all that stuff, because in the screenshots that you provided earlier, where you could like filter out things and track stuff.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you had like a screenshot of what TikTok's page might look like. So
yeah, I mean, it looks very similar.
Very similar.
Yeah, it's they're basically the platforms. Basically, TikTok is just copy and pasting Facebook stuff over, so it's very similar.
Very intuitive.
Yeah.
Very easy to.
So you could base everything I said right here. You could basically just put TikTok in front of that, and they'll pull up. So like if you're looking for like TikTok interest, TikTok retargeting ads or audiences, or TikTok how to set up the pixel and setting up all those things, it's all the same game basically.
Yeah, because I was curious if, when you switch to different platforms, is the whole thing like an entirely new system that you have to learn how to touch as well?
So TikTok is very similar. Google is very different because Google will allow you to be able to do it based off of keywords. So instead of targeting off interest and things like that, it's based on what people are typing into Google. So that's very different. People are actually doing pretty well on Google for e-commerce too. So that'd be something to take a look at.
So like if we wanted to, because I don't have a lot of time to like
Yeah.
put content together and, I mean, what is your role? Let's say if like we're like, okay, we just want to hire you on to like do the marketing, branding, like, someone like me where I've already hired the graphic designer or whatever, but I haven't put my website together yet. I haven't, I'm just wanting to say, okay, I could, go on Square and do it. So that's what I do for my other business, right? Like e-commerce, I use Square, I use these different platforms, but I'm kind of scattered everywhere, right? And then I go, when I have a listing, that I'm using my business page and that, and I feel like my learning curve is like right here. And for me to learn all this, I'm sure if I had to spend like maybe a week like on it, I would probably learn it. But if someone like a business, like I don't know if anyone else here is interested, but if I were like, okay, Christian, like, can you take over my marketing plan? Like, do you have packages? Or just teach me how to do it initially and get me set up. And then like once I get really good, I see what you do, then I'm like, oh, okay, I could, now that all my accounts are set up, I could just continue to maintain.
Yeah, so to give you a breakdown of our business and how we help clients, so we work on there's a couple different ways, but the easiest way to explain it is we do a monthly retainer. So on a monthly basis, you just pay us a fee, and then we do everything basically that you need on the digital side. So if you need graphic designs, if you need someone to make videos for you guys, if you need, your website developed, if you need that campaign set up, someone to manage your social medias, we do all of that for you, and just for a monthly fee. And then for smaller businesses, we've been able to do something on a performance basis. So for example, like if you're in real estate or if you're in e-commerce, whatever we generate as far as sales for you, we just take a small percentage of that, and then we don't charge on a monthly fee. We just, whatever we make on top of, so let's say his e-commerce business makes $10K a month, and then we come in and we add an extra $10K per month, so to make it $20K, we would only take a small percentage of that extra $10K that we gave him. And then he doesn't pay us like.
Is it like 1% or 0.05, or I mean, how do you?
It depends. I mean,
It's like negotiable.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Whatever's business, every business is different. So yeah, and then if we don't perform, we don't get paid basically.
Okay, so that's base performance, but that's only for like services that are like e-commerce, but for like real estate stuff, that would be like a monthly retainer then, or?
Yeah, because I'm not a real estate agent, and if I'm not a real estate agent, then I can't send referrals. Yeah, so.
Okay, so do you have, so I'm trying to envision like for me where I have, a friend who's like, oh, I'm gonna create Square for you, but like you said, the story and what's being told and the content design is like developing that, and then like my marketing plan on like, okay, I want to sit with the lender and talk about how to save or how do you build new construction, like do my content per my business, and then like put it on a Twitter and create a blog. And then there's also like content, like you said, the UGC where like people do that and you pay someone, they could just provide you content, but I've looked at that and people don't really care because it's not coming from you.
Sure.
So I think that's where I'm at in my career, where I'm like, okay, I don't have time to like try to be an expert in social media, like let alone I know how to freaking paste a picture and me.
Yep.
And I mean that's been working really good. Like you said, just credibility in the community and going out. But I feel that a lot of people want to like learn from me, and I don't have like, they're like, oh, how do you do that, or how are you increasing your sales? Well, I don't have like a teaching behind that, so I'm like, how do you you know, how do I use social media to be like, okay, when you shop for a lender, you have to really talk to them. And like one lender would qualify them for like $650 and this lender's only like $250, right?
Yeah.
So like I want to cover, I already have content that over the 5 years I've been in business, like what I've learned, and I feel that they don't teach that anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? So then I've already got content. I just need someone to be like, hey, this is what I need done. You know, like you take it, you create that, like here are images of me, like here's images of people whose success, testimonials, like reviews, like I let alone, I know there's like Rate Your Agent where you can click on and you can send to your client to do reviews, but I never knew you could do Google reviews, and I'm like, I've got 0 reviews. Yeah. You know, so how do you even initiate that with your clients? It's like, oh, remember to go review us, you know, and this chiropractor that I'm going to right now, they have this reminder thing. And then they also text you to like see how their service was. Yep. And I mean that's like way advanced. And I feel like even though I'm a millennial, I'm like a grandma. I'm like using freaking like, you know, whatever Asian media access over here. And everyone else is like over here. So for someone like me, I'm like, I don't really care much about it, but I feel like that's where the industry is moving. Yeah, for sure. So maybe these guys are way advanced than I am, but let alone I don't even know how to like create a freaking image, like use all the emojis, like you know when you do it and you have a listing, it's like hot listing. Yeah. But I feel like people appreciate me when I walk through the house and I talk about, you know, like looking at the basement for like flooding and XYZ, like stuff like that. They really enjoy. So I'm just wondering, like for me, I'm not gonna remember what you do, and let alone I'm not gonna be disciplined to freaking like set those accounts, you know what I mean, like for sure, or post or remember what you said. And I feel that as a business it's worth the investment, you know, to talk to someone like you who like do it every day. You understand? So maybe once, you know, we get good and you're like, okay, now this is how you post on Twitter, or you know, if you want to do a podcast, you know, I think I'm gonna, you know, podcast is also another, like that's a niche, like I'm very nichey, you know, so like all my what I call my green foodie people have a following already, but I don't have a platform for them. You know, like I don't have a blog. I don't. So what I do is I just take a picture, put it on Facebook, and be like, just follow me, and I'll just tell you what I'm doing. Sure. Like I don't have time to be the marketer for me. Because I'm doing like 200 other things. You know? So I think that's my frustration.
I think if you're like busy enough where you can't do those things, it's always good to hire out. But I think at least you come into things like this and at least being able to have a general knowledge of what to do. Right. So when you do hire somebody, you can at least be able to vet them and be like, you know,
do you know what you're doing?
Exactly. Because you don't want to just hire like a kid that just got out of college, just like I'm good at social media, but they've just been.
And then like, they're posting TikTok videos for you all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So at least
you don't want to do a ghetto too. Like,
exactly.
I mean, like you want to represent yourself professionally.
Yeah. So
I've seen some people like dancing or half naked, and they're like, you know, I'm like, it just creates like a bad image of your business.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. No, for sure. So I would say, definitely, at least be educated enough in a general way where if you do hire somebody, they know exactly what they're doing for those different things. Like if you want to be able to grow, you know, it kind of sounds like you kind of want to grow your personal brand a little bit, but then personal brand meaning like you're following online. Right. So it kind of sounds like you have a lot to educate people about. So I would say, you know, if you could just even hire like a video person that can create those videos for you, and you sit down like once a month and you shoot like 30 videos, and then those guys just edit it for you, and then you can just post whenever you want. I think that would be really helpful. Or if you want to hire like a graphic designer that's really good at creating graphics online that can be educational, then I would do that too. I mean, you can find those people online overseas for and they're really good. They're really good.
I would say that I think.
But you can vet them again, because on those platforms they have a reputation, so you can be like, okay, this person is really good already.
Right.
So,
I think you're wanting to. I think for you, it sounds like you want to do more like more. You want to put out more content.
Yeah.
Right? But not necessarily like ads, right?
Yeah.
You also want to like put out more organic content. Is that? I feel like that's what you want to build.
Yep.
There are people out there that you can hire, like content planners.
Yep.
If you don't want to plan your own content yourself. Right. So I think what you had talked about was just like batch filming and stuff like that. That's also something that we've done as well. It does help a lot. All of our sales are all organic. We don't do ads or anything. Obviously, none of our ads get approved, so we don't do ads. So it's all organic. And then everything that we post is everything that we create on our own. So we don't it. So,
Mhm.
and we're also not tech savvy people. Like before our business, we don't post on Facebook or Instagram. So like it didn't come very natural, but I really like Canva to use as like graphic designing. It's so easy. It's super easy. So like honestly, and you can get so many ideas in there. But if I were you, I mean, you could hire somebody and you could just write out your content, and that's like their niche, you know, content planning. So like I would look into finding somebody who can plan specific content for like, especially like your business, and that would be like their niche. So they would just plan and they would do everything what Christian was saying. Like they would schedule the posts, they would, you know, tell you like, hey, we need to film this, or they would film videos for you, caption your stuff, and I'm sure you would have a say too.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
So yeah, going back to what Christian was saying too, like vetting somebody to content plan for you would be really good for you.
Yeah.
But I think that would be your first step. Maybe is just to find somebody
And so
to
do
help
you do
plan
that
your
or you
content.
don't do that?
Yeah, we do it. So
Yeah.
we do it, but
But you guys would do everything, right?
yeah, so we could do everything. But if you were to hire somebody, let's say you just want someone really close on your team day to day, I would say you probably want to hire somebody that can do a little bit of everything. So they can plan content, they can create content. Like if they can even use Canva at a good speed, that's great.
Yeah.
If they can edit, and if they can just press record on their phone and just records you, and they can go back on like CapCut. CapCut's super easy. It's like a Canva for video editing basically. So if you can just hire somebody that can figure those things out and is like good at those things, that'd be super beneficial. Yeah, someone next to you, someone that can do a lot of everything, kind of a jack of all trades on the content
I
side.
think there are a few people
Yeah.
out there. We've had a few friends, like they do like photography and stuff, and they're content creators themselves. So then they have like a lot of expertise on like, you know, like how to do video and certain things like that.
For sure.
And they could do all of that for you.
Do you have anybody that like comes or follows you around and stuff?
I mean, like, as far as clients, or?
As like maybe like you have a partner, like your husband or something like that, right? So just ask him like, hey, can you
Yeah.
record me?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
yes, and like
Yeah.
you don't want to pay anyone.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
honestly,
Yeah.
you have to make the effort to do it.
I think
for
I'm trying to
free.
avoid. Yeah, he's like, are you gonna like? He doesn't want to be my assistant. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the issue between us.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to. He just hold the phone as we walk through this.
Yeah.
And you're done, right?
Yeah.
And then you can send it to somebody else to do it for you.
And I would say, like, for us too, because we're at a point right now in our business where we would like to incorporate ads with our organic reach. For us, like, just to kind of get our organic reach going, we just intentionally record ourselves. Like, we weren't used to that, but just like we were just outside and we would just post it. That we
Yeah.
were here, you know, just little things like that. Or like next time
Yeah.
you go walk around the house or you're touring, like I would just even record, you know, just like so many different things that you could do yourself for free.
The great thing about that is, if you record everything, you don't have to post everything. On the back end, you can go in and be like, I like this, or I don't like it, so I'm not going to post it. So just record, but recording the most is really important, so then you can have options. If you just record, you know, whenever you feel like it, then it can be kind of tough. You may not like it, and then you just end up not posting. So just recording everything is key. And if your husband doesn't want to do it, just get a tripod.
Right.
Get a tripod, set it up, and just talk to it, and talk to them about that lending process. Yeah, for sure.
It seems like you have a lot of really good ideas. So
Yeah.
I would just take my idea, and then in my daily life, I would just try to see like what could I record that would relate to what I just had an idea about.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. It really is.
It
but,
is.
I mean, but it does help though, like the organic
for sure.
reach, and you do get better at it the more you do.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Yep.
gets better.
Just
Yeah.
like anything else. Just
Yeah.
keep doing it. Anybody else have questions?
Well, I do have more questions, but I would like to ask. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Okay. So earlier you mentioned that LinkedIn is probably one of your number ones, right?
Yeah.
So I am very curious because for me, right, I have a clothing business, right? I make all of my clothing in house. So I get the garment, and then I use it in-house. So I put vinyl, I put paint, I put whatever on it. Now that skill of creating clothing is a different skill, and that's what my next question is actually. If I was to provide that service, that would be a business-to-business service. which I would then look at LinkedIn where I could be like, hey, let me print your t-shirts for you. You have a clothing business or you have a cleaning company, let me make your uniform for you. I was wondering if you could give me an example of how LinkedIn has helped you get out.
Yeah, I love that. So LinkedIn is great for reaching people that you don't know, and it's great for getting some inbound leads. So, for example, I posted about that bakery that I was working with one time, and the key line was, I helped this bakery make $90,000 in the first month of business. And that post has generated me about like 5 different leads of, different businesses emailing me and filling out my form on my website by itself. And then I was able to book a couple meetings that way. But I think if you were to go into that, I would say if you were to break down, just because when you're on that platform, you're posting as yourself, you're not posting as your business. So you do want to share some personal experiences and personal thoughts and opinions. And so it doesn't always just have to be about what your business does. It can be about like your struggles as an entrepreneur, or your wins as an entrepreneur, or just some things that you're interested in as well. And then share some educational, entertaining tips as well too. So like, let's say you do your shirts a certain way. I would share, what that process is, in like a biteable size on LinkedIn, right? And then just kind of figure, what can you post on a daily basis that will attract the type of clients that you want, right? So if you're trying to get out to, let's say, like a real estate client or a real estate brokerage that wants some t-shirts for their brand, then, you could write about, what that would look like. Or what I would even do is I would even create, that design for that brand. Let's say you take the logo and you put it onto a shirt, and then you would, send it out to them and just be like, the great thing about LinkedIn is you can figure out exactly who is like the person you want to target, and then you can direct message them, and then you can tell them whatever you want. So I would even just, DM them and be like, hey, I made this for you guys. What do you guys think? Or something like that,
Okay. Yeah.
So there's a lot that you can do with LinkedIn. Like for me, I'm like, this is the business I want to work with. This is the person that's in charge of marketing. I'm going to get their email. I'm going to send them an email, ask them if they would be interested in working together. So there's a lot, yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
And then at one point you mentioned that you started a clothing business as well. I was curious on how that went, where that is now.
It went bad. Well, the reason why is because I was so busy I was trying to start too many things at once.
Okay.
And so when I was trying to start I'm a person that's really like, I'm not good at multitasking. Like she has 6 different businesses. She's probably way better at multitasking. That's the way she works. For me, I didn't know that I couldn't handle too many things. So I kept wanting to do all these different things. But what I've kind of figured out is I'm best when I'm focused on one thing only. And so I had my agency, then I had a clothing brand, then I had a media company, then I had a candle business. And this past year, I was just like, I'm just going to wipe all that out and just focus on the agency because, if I can't put in my energy into all these things like I want to, then they're not going to have a good foundation. So I'm going to build this foundation, and then maybe later on I can go out and do those things. So, yeah.
What happened to be that was where your interests lied in the most, where most of your interest was in? Or?
Yeah, I think so. I like being able to help people out like yourself. Clothing is cool, but I'll probably get back into it someday.
But it wasn't what you wanted to do at the time?
Well, there's a couple things. I'm not a graphic designer, so I would have to pay someone to do that. And then I didn't see the profitability yet, of course. And I was already making money with my agency, so I was like, well, that's what I'm going to focus on for now. And then clothing line is something that I can build later. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Nothing against clothing lines. I think they're great.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I would love to just hear people's experiences.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm excited to see your stuff. Yeah.
And then Sandy actually had just administrative question. I hope you guys don't mind, she's been paying attention. If you guys don't mind, I'll share the reverse side so she can see you guys as well too. But she was asking if you guys don't mind, if we could all share our contact information with you, and that you could share it amongst everybody and anybody who else wants it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be nice to connect with everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just gonna say, are you on Instagram or Facebook at all?
I
Any of you guys? Like, do you guys have Facebook?
I feel like you are on Instagram, because I think I am, but like I don't even post anything. I created all the accounts, and I'm like, I don't even know if I'm.
You know,
Yeah.
I admit social media is probably one of the hardest things to touch because you are so, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're
Thank you.
doing everything yourself.
Yeah.
Because I have the same exact question that you do, where I'm doing everything, but at one point I'm so exhausted, or I'm so like.
You're doing everything.
You're doing everything.
Yeah.
You're doing everything, and then you feel like you need to hire somebody to do it, but at the same time, you're a small business, so you don't necessarily have the funds to do it either. And
Yeah.
then you just kind of rely
That's
on
kinda like a
friends
circle
and
that we
family.
all-
Yeah. That's-
That's the toxic cycle.
I
Yeah.
feel like I'm at the point where I'm like, I'm able to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now? And it's like, I mean, I hit all of my financial goals for this year, and I'm like, I hired a bookkeeper, and I hired a, and it's like, because you can't continue to operate like that, and then you need like a team of people. So then I'm getting, other, like you
Mhm.
said, other people who compliments me, like, well, maybe they're good in digital marketing, or maybe they come. I find like all these agents, they have these hidden talents that you don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I'm at that where you're correct. Like, even my leadership training, as people wanting to learn, oh wow, you're doing this, and you're at the Charleston Mansion, and It's like all of your little life goals, it's like just your little story within itself is inspiring, and then you forget about your story. And I think that's what, everywhere I go, I feel like I repeat my story 100 times, but like to me, I'm tone deaf to it. But everybody wants to hear it. You know what I mean? Like they're like. And then my husband and I were kind of a quirky couple, but then we work together and we farm together and we have ticks all over our body while we go and like sell houses and everything and build houses. So yeah, I think it's just, like someone asked me, they're like, oh, do you have the Instagram thing where they just want to see our life, like what we do? And I'm like, why would you want to see my kids? And so I tried to do that on Facebook, but I'm like, I have all these photos that I have to go put captions, and I'm like, gosh, I don't even know how to do that, so.
I think honestly, just post, just do it, right?
Yeah.
You guys are quirky already. That's Brandon.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
If people are asking, they're interested.
I think you and your husband would kill it, especially with the amount of stuff you guys are doing.
I was like, I even just need someone to chase me. So yeah, I literally had my 2-year-old, like, she's like with her camera. I was like, take this, mommy, okay? And she's always in my waist, like, just right in my ear. I'm like, oh my gosh, my sister, like, every 2-year-old.
That's content in itself.
Yeah.
Like I would watch your 2-year-old like.
Yeah.
For
Like,
like
I think
10
they're more
seconds.
interested, like, honestly, they're not even interested in our business. Like, I've realized that, like, people want to hang out with you just because, like, they want to know what you're
Yeah.
doing.
They're interested in your life,
right?
yeah.
Your life.
Well,
And I was like, oh, I have it all backwards.
And you know, a lot of times, you don't, because you're so interesting, a lot of people don't really care about your,
Like, whatever you're selling.
or whatever you're writing, right?
Yeah.
You can just literally post a picture and be like, hey.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they're like, I realized, and I started watching, I'm like, gosh, people are like,
So you already have a
Right.
pretty good platform.
Yeah.
I think you just gotta put out your knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? You got a lot of knowledge, I bet.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
and hopefully I can hire you too.
Yeah,
I'm like, just come record me and do it. I don't have time to.
There's a lot of people like you though. Like there's a lot of like business people that I talk to that are very similar to yourself, where they are very knowledgeable, they want to share a lot, but they just don't know where to start. And it's definitely hard because there's that learning curve of, what to do and how to do it. But I think it's just like anything else, like you jumping into business is just like jumping into the content creation and stuff like that. And it will do wonders for you. Like with all the knowledge and stuff that you have, like that will, probably 10x your business if you take it seriously. Yeah.
It's like, it's just, and I think that's the planning of it, like you said, it's organizing the content and then like creating it.
Yeah.
So.
Or having someone do it for you, or just having someone you could delegate it to. That way you can just do what you do on a regular basis, and that person can focus on that stuff. Yeah.
Sorry, battery's about to die, but go ahead, honey.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Hi, sorry, I had a quick question. In terms of content, I mean, I noticed, I think a lot of us have stuff in common, which is like tons of content but no time to caption it.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is this: is like, if we are like initially doing our own social media, do you know
I wouldn't say to set rules, but I would say like there's certain things that you may have missed. Like, for example, like DJ Khaled released his album like 2 weeks ago, but that's kind of it's past now, right? But it's how you position the content as well. So if you talk about like this album impacted me by this, then it's a little bit different conversation. So I would say just have a different spin on it that can be relative today. If you missed the opportunity to build on top of it when it was trending or when it was happening. Does that answer your question?
Yes, that helps. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yep.
Like I think one example, Sandy, maybe to answer you is like, for example, like interest rates are now adjusting.
Yeah.
Right? So like people are like, when is it the right time to buy?
Yeah.
So like that within itself is relevant.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, okay, well now is the time to buy because interest rates are coming down even though and prices are adjusting.
Yeah.
So you're still paying the same, right?
Yep.
The same mortgage.
Exactly.
So I think like people don't understand how interest rate. Yeah. So like just like that or
I think, you know, and I'm just gonna, hopefully, honey, I hope you don't mind me calling you out, but you gotta have someone who's gonna, cause I've never been one to like take videos of it, and she's always like, did you take the report? Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Oh my God.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not evil. I'm saying that you're doing exactly what the advice is given.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No.
the woman is always right.
As always.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Hilarious because my partner is also a handyman, and I've actually been telling him, been pressuring him to like really get into it too, right? So every day I'm always like, did you take the before photo? Or I'm like, where's the after photo? And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, I forgot. And I'm like, oh my God.
Missed opportunities.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing, right? Like and I think all of you can attest to this, because we are operators in our businesses, we're used to doing the job and making it happen, that we don't think of it from that perspective of
Because
how to use social media.
it's a whole nother job, right?
Yeah.
You gotta act as like two different people, basically. That's the thing. So,
come on, he has a whole business. Well,
Yes.
And we want to go do it.
so I mean,
Sleep at night and midnight and be like, oh, I'm so
so like as she was saying earlier, like you know, they just take videos of everything. That's what you guys should be doing too. You should just take videos of everything that you're doing, and then you know,
Share something though.
cut it out after. Yeah.
I guess I just want to say one of the things that I'm thinking a lot about is like, how do I, as I reflect on this social media thing and using it as a tool for businesses, you know, ironically, Belly and I did a lot of our early careers and passion were around being on stage. And so I guess one of my things I think a lot about is how do I remain humble and really focus on the process and the clients, and not necessarily like still, you know, run my business right without really making it about me. And so I guess that's one of the challenges that I'm facing, because I don't necessarily want it to become the Sandy show. You know, and I noticed one of the downfalls of social media, if you guys don't mind me saying so, is that while it's democratized the ability for people to be performers and artists and to showcase their work, sometimes I've noticed that the quantity doesn't necessarily mean quality. And so just kind of throwing it out there, that's one of the things I've been kind of thinking about. How do I purposefully put out content that is meaningful, intentional, and authentic to myself without doing it for views necessarily. And you know, other people may do that, and that's fine, but I just I struggle a lot with, do I have to put my name and face out there, because I was doing that a lot for a decade and a half. So
And I
I'm just throwing it out there.
No, Sandy, I feel like I'm the same thing with you, right? Because like I named my business Mopa's Garden, and it's been me, but the truth was back home with my parents, right? And so as I go, I could have said Mopa's real estate agent, you know, or realtor and consultant. But to you guys, once you brand, I think I had to hire a branding person who sat down with me and like thought through the purpose of my vision of Inspire Access, right? It's like I've inspired people to build their dream homes, you know? So I think as you go through that visioning process and you redefine the purpose, so it's not all me anymore, but it's the business. So as you provide that content, it's like your logo, and like they were saying, you don't want your shining face on there. My videos don't have to include my shining face. It can be Dave Zerat's voice on channel 2, you know? So I think as I go through, it just, how do you present it? You know, and then you look at like Chris Lindahl Real Estate, where he's the one hugging everyone on
Mhm.
the billboards, but yet, you know, it's like all these agents, like how do you remain authentic to each of those? You know,
Yeah.
they're so unique. So I think like, yeah, so I agree with you that as I'm putting out content, I also am looking at other people putting it too, and sometimes it may look cheesy or whatever, but that's generating leads for them. But you don't want to create this image of you being like unprofessional. I think that's important. And so as you put out your content, right, like you don't want yourself looking unprofessional. I think maybe that's where I'm getting at, where like you can create all these videos, but then I think nowadays people love that organic, crazy, you know, that it is you, that you guys are going through a
They
struggle.
do.
You know, like you're going through these real life struggles,
Yeah.
and I think like people like these live, you know, like selling and live, and so then I'm like way in like my dad's history where like I have to present myself properly, whereas I'm like, who cares, you know, you just
Yeah.
spilled ice cream and your kid's crying, and this is as me as being a mom, like being a real estate agent, like I think people relate to those stories, and then it makes it really real to them, and I think that's what you're saying is like, if you're not sharing that back, like truth is, I really just want to know what you guys are doing, you know, and wow, you're a freaking actor and now handyman, like I just want to follow you guys because you guys are so cool. You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm starting to figure out in this social media blueprint, that like these stories of our behind the life scenes actually generate us the leads. And to be quite honest, I don't think my social media, it's been just like self-referral through phone calls.
Yeah.
You know, like she's doing a good job, so here, just go with her, and then you get tons of referrals.
Well,
So,
the thing is, I think that's 100% right, but I would also say, you know, the thing about social media is just really building your reputation, and
Your
also
reputation,
it's really just about, you know, like you guys know as realtors, just as business owners, relationships are everything, you know, and so that you showing yourself in those moments is allowing people to be able to resonate with you, and people to understand that they go through the same things as me and those type of things. So people would want to work with you more often than not because they find some similarity, and they find some comfortability with you because of those things that you're going through, or they might just like your personality in general.
Yeah.
They just want to be around you, so there's that as well.
and I think it is like I told him, like once you leave a brokerage, and you probably know this, like as realtors leave hot brokerages, like your clients don't follow the brokerage.
Yeah.
You know, they follow you.
Individually.
You realize
Yeah,
that, right? It's like
yeah.
once they leave whatever brokerage that we're
Yeah.
with, they're following you, so it doesn't matter. Like I'm sure everyone following you is your friend's family, and so I always believe that as much as you want to remain out of it, like if they know, hey, it's you doing it, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna come to you guys. Like
Yeah.
now I know you guys are handling. Like crap, I should have known that because I need to call you guys. Patching a hole because they're not going to cover one for me. But yeah, I think that's just like so cool that like as much as I know I'm going through the same struggle you are, Sandy, where it's like before I present myself, I want to make sure we're presenting us in an appropriate way, but there is like not a good way of doing it. Like people love the like crazy you know, that you are
Yeah.
too.
The great thing about that also is you have control of the content at the end of the day as well. So if you feel like this doesn't represent you in the right way, then you don't have to post it. I would say, you know, if you're okay with it, that could be your actual story that you share that people resonate with, right? And that could be your launching pad that you share out there that maybe a lot of other people are going through as well. And that could be something that could really help you be able to share and generate more interest from people that don't want to share as much but are inspired by you because you did share your struggle going through that. And we see people like that posting on social media every day.
And then that again is like a lead generator.
Yeah.
Because they're like, wow, like this person just became changed. Or like now because of the feedback, she's taking responsibility or whatever, you know, in the visioning process. Yeah. So I think everyone's story is just so unique. I mean, I love listening to stories. So I can listen to those Mongdani stuff forever. So I can listen to all your stories and be like, oh.
We do have to end. We're supposed to end at 6, but we'll get out of here. Thank you guys so much for coming. Definitely please share your information with me and with amongst each other.
I'll send it out. Name, number, email, and the type of business.
Hashtag mighty handy.